Hey everyone. If you've ever typed something into an AI tool and read the answer and thought, well, that was actually useless, I want to show you why that happens because it is almost never the tool's fault. Before we start, a quick bit of housekeeping. I do work at Microsoft in performance marketing, but nothing on my channel is a Microsoft view. This is just me in my spare room sharing what I've actually learned. So here's the thing that changed how I use the tool, and it came from my own personal life and real world rather than anything that's technical or hard for anybody to understand. If you've worked in the industry for any length of time, you've probably written a brief or a documentation. Maybe you've written for a creative team, an agency, a media planner, and you already know exactly what happens when the brief is vague. You get something back that's technically an answer, but it's not what you asked for, and it's not remotely what you wanted. And now you're on your third round of amends, wondering where did it all go wrong? Most people don't write prompts, they write search queries. They type in 6 words into a box the way they type it into Google, and then they judge the tool on what comes back. This isn't a engine. It's closer to a very fast, very capable, very literal colleague who just walked in and knows absolutely nothing about your business or what you do in life. Treat it like a brief and everything changes. What I'm going to give you is some recommendations on 5 parts and how you can do that. So, here are the 5 things that I try to include every single time you speak to an LLM. You don't always need all 5, but if an output has come back wrong, I'd bet money that it was one of these things missing or not very clear. The first is the role. Who is the AI for this task? There's a real difference between asking a generic assistant and asking it to answer an experienced paid search manager who's run budgets in a competitive retail account. It shifts the vocabulary, the assumptions, and the level that it pitches at. Second is the context. This is one people skip most, and it's the one that costs them the actual most in time and effort. What's the business and what's the product? Who's the customer? What have you already tried? What's the constraint you're working inside? A colleague who's just joined would need all of that information before they could do anything useful. And it's the same here. Third is the task. On the clear, sorry about that. Third is the task. One clear job, not 4 jobs stacked into one paragraph with an and also in the middle. If you want it to analyze something and then write something and then summarize something, you'll get a thin version of all 3. Ask for one thing properly and ask for the next afterwards. Keep it very clear in what you're doing and what you're asking. How do you like to be communicated with? Fourth is the rules. These are your guardrails. These are the things the LLM should avoid. What tone to stay clear of. What you don't want it to assume. How long it should be. I've got a whole list of phrases I never want to see. When I speak to my LLM, I don't want to see an M dash. I don't want to see car salesman talk, 3 word sentences, or anything that's like, this is the greatest ever. That's not me, and I don't respect things that come like that. Telling the LLM up front will save a lot of time in rewriting the same sentence over and over. And it's about efficiency. That's why we're using the tool in the first place. Fifth is the format. What do you want the answer to finally and actually look like? Do you want it in a table, 5 bullet points, a paragraph? Do you want something that you can paste straight into an email, a numbered list with headings per section? If you don't say it, you get whatever the AI feels like giving you at that time. And that can quite often be a wall of text, the before and the after. So let me make that real. Because frameworks on a slide is easy to nod along and hard to actually use, look at this. Look at the 2 different versions we have. One is write me some ad copy for a hotel booking site, and that's it. And that is what many people send and why they complain about AI slop or poor conversations. and you'll get back something that reads like every other hotel ad that's ever existed because you haven't actually given it anything to work with. A better version, you're an experienced paid search copywriter working on a hotel booking site selling short breaks in the UK, mainly to couples in their 30s and 40s booking 2 to 3 weeks ahead. And the thing that genuinely sets us apart is cancellation right up to the day before. Write 5 responsive search ad headlines under 30 characters, avoid superlatives like best and amazing, and don't mention the price. Give them to me as a numbered list with a one-line note on what each one is testing. It's the same tool, same model, but completely different outputs. And the only thing that changed was that I briefed it properly instead of shouting a topic at it. The bit I'd leave you with is this. The gap between people who find tools brilliant and those who find them disappointing is almost never about what tool that they're using. It's about how much thinking they do before they hit that enter button. I personally like to treat my tools as if I'm talking to one of my children. Imagine a 5-year-old child, send it to the kitchen to get you some crisps or get you a snack. Inevitably, they will come back with what they want. If your instructions aren't clear to them there, you're not going to get what you want at the end of the day. So next time you get an output that's not right, before you start blaming the model, go back and read what you actually asked for. 9 times out of 10, you'll spot which of those 5 parts are missing. That's all from me. If you found that useful, let me know and tell me in the comments which of the 5 that you tend to skip, because I genuinely like to know. It's for context for everyone, not just for me. Hopefully people will read this and they'll be able to share tips and tricks between each other and we can help everyone grow. Hopefully I'll speak to you all soon. Goodbye.